So here we are, Backstage, WPOC, Sunday in the Country, 2018, and Morgan Evans is here.
Hey.
And Morgan, I have cash. So here's the thing. I want to find myself. Every time I say Kelsey Ballerini, I got to give you $10. So,
Okay.
So I'm going to try not to do it again because I would like to. I need money for the beer stand.
Man, if this happened in my real life, I'd be very rich.
So let's talk about Morgan Evans, man. 33, and I want to kind of go back for a minute because it's been, I guess, 20 years since you really started playing music.
Yeah.
20 years.
Well, it's 20 years since my first show.
Right.
Yeah, so I was playing music before that even. So, yeah, it's been a long time, but it doesn't feel like a long. I don't really want this $10 of yours, man. You should take that back.
All right.
Yeah. You can find yourself. Give it to someone. Give it to someone else.
I'll try not to say her name again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, but I feel like when great things happen, like I feel like they have been this year, it makes like almost like that 20 years flashes before my eyes, and it's like every moment of that was like meant to be, so that I can be here and really appreciate every second of what I'm getting to experience right now.
Well, you've done a lot coming from Australia. I want to ask you about, you started winning Aussie Awards, I guess they're called, in 2006. Before coming to America, right, and making that move, what was your fondest or most exciting memory that happened in your musical career down under, mate?
Down under?
Yeah, down under.
I think probably just the touring experiences. Definitely for me, like playing live is the payoff for all the other stuff. You know, I love writing songs and I love being in the studio, but that moment when you get to share a real moment of instant connection is kind of what it's all about. And so my fondest memories are of, you know, like the big, I guess, festival opportunities I had to get in front of, you know, the biggest crowds I'd played to at the time and share this music that we all knew. And there's a couple of main festivals down there. One's called CMC Rocks, which a lot of these guys are going down to play next year as well. And another one called the Denny Ute Muster, which Carrie Underwood just played a couple of nights ago. They're the two kind of high points, I think, in the Australian country music calendar. And I definitely have fond memories of those.
Do you remember the moment when you decided that you were going to go for it and move to America? I mean, that seems like a huge, commitment and undertaking and a jump. So
it is.
How
man.
How did you reach that point?
Well, it's funny. Like I tried to make it as gradual as possible. I came back and forth for a long time. I would come over for like 3 months and then go back for a month and come back for like 2 months or whatever. And then I kind of got to the point where I was going back and forth way too much, and I had to make a decision. And my decision was to move full time. And having back and forth so much, I thought it'd be kind of seamless, but it really was a big jump. There's like some mental thing about like, no, you're not going back to Australia. You're not going to see your friends or your family. You're here, and like, you got to do this or not, And that was definitely a big kind of mental. It was a good couple of years of like finding out who you really are and like what you really want to do and like who are the people you want to hang out with and all that kind of stuff. And it was the hardest 2 years of my life, but it was the two that also were a big part of that time, setting me up for now and being able to just, I don't know, dig, hanging out with you, dig, getting to play here tonight, like all these cool things,
Well, I've known you for about, 6 months, 8 months, whatever it's been. I met you in D.C. when you did the first show in this region. And for everybody that's getting to know Morgan Evans, his first U.S. single, Kiss Somebody, I love how you say that, and I don't want to mess this up, you say that it was, you wrote it about your girlfriend, but you recorded it about your fiance and you released it about your wife as the progression went through doing that record.
That was the song I Do. Yeah,
oh, I'm sorry.
And
okay.
It is. It's funny. One of the things I love about that was like when Kelsey and I first got together. I was the new guy in town. Do I find myself?
He's gonna find every time it says Kelsey Ballerini.
Kelsey. I'll take all that.
Yeah, let's go.
No, I was very much of the mindset of like, hey, like, I'm digging like dating you and stuff. Like, this is awesome, but like, let's keep it a secret because I don't want to be like that to be the way people know who I am at first.
Right.
And of course, that lasted about 3 seconds because she loves social media and she posted something up. But during that few months where people didn't know, all the guys that I write most of my music with didn't know either. And so I all of a sudden went from writing like whatever kind of songs to love songs all the time. And we're writing this song called I Do, and I wrote with a guy named Ashley and a guy named Chris, and they're like, man, why are you writing all these love songs all of a sudden? And so it was cool when they obviously found out that it was her, because they know her as well, and Yeah, it's funny. It's funny the journey of a song, you know.
Well, he brought it up. He's been married now for 10 months. Your anniversary is December 2nd.
Yeah.
You got married in Mexico. So
Yeah.
here you are coming up on that anniversary. What will you do for the 1 year?
Man, we don't actually see each other on our anniversary. We knew that when we were getting married that we wouldn't see each other on our anniversary. But
wow.
we are. I think Kelsey's last show for the night is on the last show for the year is on December 14, and mine's on December 15, and they're both in Vegas, and so we're both just on December 16, just gonna disappear for a few days, and I guess celebrate the anniversary a little late. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So listen, the thing that blew me away about your performance is you came out on a stage and you played every instrument through this beatbox thing. So
Yeah.
so you walk out and you obviously are very skilled with percussion because you kind of did the rhythm, you got the guitar riff going, and you put it all together. It was like a live recording. Are you
Yeah.
going to do something like that here today too?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing everywhere I've been going. It's
I love this. So explain it for people because I feel like people on the
Right.
lawn might not see exactly what you're up to.
right. Well, it's definitely not new technology. Like I didn't invent any part of this, but it's a thing called a loop station or a loop pedal, and basically it allows me to record short sections of music. So, and once I record it, it plays over and over again in a loop. And so I record a little drum part, and then a little bass guitar part, and an acoustic guitar part, and sometimes I do some oohs and some ahs and some beatboxing, and it kind of feels like a band. And what I love about it is like mainly the connection. There's nothing between me and the audience, but also the way we made my music, my record, is just with my producer and I. And we played everything, the two of us. So he would play some drums, I would play some of this, and we would go back and forth. And so it feels really honest to the way we made the music as well.
It's fascinating to see because he builds the song right on the stage in front of you. I love that. I was checking your Twitter out and touring with Chris Young. You say that North Carolina has the countryest of country accents.
I think they do, yes. We were doing a meet and greet the other night, at the end of the night, and there was this, these two little girls came up, and they had the most country accents. Like, it was amazing.
Can you imitate that with an Australian
No,
thing?
I can't. It's so like the drawl was so long, and they were just so small and cute. And I was just like, this is incredible. It has to be North Carolina.
So getting to see the U.S. in the way you are now touring,
Yeah.
Has there been any big shock or anything that's been really memorable that really stuck out that was a surprise?
I think the most surprising thing as someone from the other side of the world is like when you travel around America, it feels like sometimes you're in a different country every day. Like you can go from the middle of Texas to like upstate New York or whatever, and like they're totally different places. But everywhere you go, it's like, I guess I'm seeing it through the eyes of country music. So you're in this totally different place, but everyone's singing the same music, and like there's country fans everywhere, and I think that's my favorite thing.
Well, we're really thrilled to have you. You have a new record out that we can finally talk about. You had the EP, which you dropped.
Yep.
And I love what you did. You went back to Tootsie's in Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
For any country fan who's not made the pilgrimage to Music City, Tootsie's is it's a great spot. So you originally had gone in there and played at the beginning of your career, and now a year later or whatever, a couple years later, tell me what happened when you went in.
It was not even that, man. It was like my first trip to Nashville. I got off the plane and I was by myself. I was meeting up with people the next day. And when you get in from Australia, you get in super late at night. So it was like 10:30 at night or something. I threw my stuff in the hotel and found my way down to Broadway. And as you do, you sort of turn the corner and there's like Legends Corner on there, and then a couple of bars, and Tootsie's is one of those. And I remember just thinking, this place is awesome, you know. And I walked into Tootsie's and I got a beer and looked around, and I just remember that was the start of me really falling in love with Nashville, and that was 10 years ago.
Wow.
And so when this EP came out, it was cool to go down to that bar and just be like, hey, let's all cheers, you know, and raise a little tequila. And
So you bought a round of drinks for everybody in the bar?
I did, yeah. I mean, it's a small bar. It's a very small bar.
What was that tab? I better give you some money.
No, yeah. It was surprisingly not that expensive, but
that's awesome.
But it was a great moment, just like because there's a good bunch of tourists and then some local musicians in there, and it was just a good moment. It was mainly for me, just to be like, kind of like, I remember being here 10 years ago. This is really cool.
So Things We Drink To.
Yeah.
That's the new record.
Yeah, man. It's called Things That We Drink To after one of the songs on the record, which is not released yet. But after I just sort of started putting this track listing together. I mean, I wrote hundreds of songs before this album comes out, so picking the top 11 or whatever was really difficult. And I noticed that as they sort of come together, they're all these like moments you can raise a glass to. And for me, it's like the story of my last couple of years, which is like finding a new home on the other side of the world. Cheers, like meeting the girl. Cheers, getting married, like all these great things. And then, I lost my manager of 10 years last year really suddenly. And the song "Things That We Drink To" is a tribute to him. But
what happened? Can you tell us?
Oh yeah, he was in a motorcycle accident. So
sorry.
It came out of nowhere, and we wrote this song on the day of his memorial in Nashville. And yeah, man, it's like in the writing of the song, there's so many ways you can go to talk about losing someone close to you, and the way we went is like a celebration of life, and like all the things you got to do, all the things you got to do because of that person being in your life, and really being able to kind of raise a glass to all of that. And I think that's the way he would have want us to remember him, and that's the way that I'm kind of wanting to remember all these great moments and sad moments that I talk about on this record.
Well, the new single is "Day Drunk." Love that.
Yeah,
I love "American." I think that is your anthem.
Thank you, man.
I think
Thank
it
you.
just sounds great. I'm so excited for everyone here to see you perform the songs, because you do add an element that I feel transcends, the music.
Good, I
when you get to
appreciate
see
that.
it live. So you got to pick up a copy of "Things We Drink To." It was a big night for you on the Chris Young tour. You played a sold-out Bridgestone Arena in Nashville.
Yeah, man.
How
Yeah.
was that?
That's a crazy moment, man. That's like, I mean, that's the big arena in Nashville, Music City, the home of country music, like all these things. And yeah, I got to play there the other night, opening for Chris Young and Kane Brown. And man, as the opening act on a tour like that, you walk out and you expect kind of sometimes it to be half full, sometimes it to be, but that night it was jammed. Like the top row was full, like it's 14,000 people in there. And man, it was one of those magical nights.
Brad
sure.
Paisley was there.
Oh, yeah,
He
he showed
tweeted
up.
from the side of the stage and ended up playing. I don't know if you bumped into him.
I didn't bump into him, but I saw him up there. He's
Yeah.
a funny dude.
Yeah,
man.
very, very funny.
Yeah.
Well, dude, we are so excited to have you here.
Thank you.
This event, Sunday in the Country, has gotten bigger year after year after year.
It's big.
And
This is almost full out there now.
We are honored to have you at this sold-out show, and I know a lot of people are here to see Morgan Evans.
Come on, well,
So
thank you,
thank
man.
you, brother. It was
Thank
good talking
you.
to you.
Thanks for all your support.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.